task planning series. Today we're going to look at task number 5. In this task, you are given that copper 2 oxide and carbon are both black solids. However, copper 2 oxide reacts with your acid, sulfuric acid, to form aqueous copper 2 sulfate. And I hope you remember the color of this compound. On the other hand, carbon does not react with dilute sulfuric acid. Now your task is to describe how you can obtain your pure dry sample of carbon from the mixture of the powdered copper 2 oxide and powdered carbon. This therefore will be the aim of the experiment. You are also provided with the apparatus that is commonly found, the particular mixture that we are talking about, the acid, as well as distilled water. Now, no other chemicals will be available, and you should give the details as well as the observations occurring at each stage of the procedure. Now, definitely, this part must be taken note of, and you will have to include all these things for your answer to be deemed as correct and accurate. Now, I'm going to give you some pictures to show you the difference between copper 2 oxide and carbon. Copper 2 oxide is the black-colored solid found on the left, whereas carbon is the substance that is seen on the right. You notice that they are both black in color, both are powdery, and there is really not much difference between the two if you mix them together in a mixture. Okay, therefore, the task really requires you to add the sulfuric acid to react with your copper 2 oxide. Now, previously we talked about the aim, which is to obtain your pure dry sample of carbon from a mixture of your powdered copper 2 oxide and powdered carbon. The variables in this case, we don't have any variables because it's just a simple procedure to separate a mixture of the two substances. Now, I'm going to show you a video of an example of what this mixture can possibly look like and what the reaction will do, or what it will happen when you add in the sulfuric acid to the copper 2 oxide. There we have in the beaker, we have the copper 2 oxide, which is a black solid. Once you add in the sulfuric acid, you notice that there is not much difference there. Stir a little bit. It is still like a blackish kind of a solution, a suspension. And supposing there is some of the carbon, you have to separate them using filtration because the carbon is not going to react with your dilute sulfuric acid. Now, once the filtration is taking place, you notice that, interestingly, there is that blue-colored solution. That blue-colored solution is your copper 2 sulfate. Okay, now this tells you that there is some reaction. It's just that we can't really see the reaction in the suspension that contains the black-colored particles in the acid. But there is definitely reaction because of the new product that is blue in color that is being formed. Now, let's look at our procedure. In the video just now, they did not warm the acid, but I would recommend that you can warm this dilute sulfuric acid, which should be an excess because you want all of the copper 2 oxide to fully react with your dilute sulfuric acid. Now, I warmed this acid because I think the reaction might be very slow, and therefore warming the acid would be faster. Now, I don't have to boil the acid, I just have to warm it will do. Then, this mixture should be added to the acid until none of the powdered mixture remains. Now, perhaps I shouldn't have written none of the powdered mixture remains because some of the carbon will definitely remain unreacted. I will stir regularly. I will stir well with a glass rod. And then this suspension will be separated using the filter paper. All right. Therefore, I will be able to get the residue, which is our powdered carbon, and copper 2 sulfate, which is the blue-colored solution. It will appear as the filtrate. And then this residue, which is the carbon, we should rinse it with distilled water because we want to obtain a pure dry sample of this carbon. And you can dry it using pieces of filter paper. Now, this question here, is there a need to write down your results and conclusion? What you can do is to take a moment, can pause this video and consider this. I hope that you have taken some time to think through, and the answer is no. There is no need to write down results and conclusion for this task because there is simply no results nor conclusion. And that's the end for this short video. I hope that you will like and share this video and to comment in the section below to let me know of any improvements that I can make. Thank you for joining me. See you again.